Welcome to Know and Go series. Today, we're diving into the ultimate detective investigation to uncover why a simple, shiny yellow rock practically rules the global economy. I mean, have you ever wondered why pirates, ancient pharaohs, and modern-day bankers all share the exact same obsession? Well, today we're cracking the case. Okay, let's dive right into this mystery. We need to figure out why adults, massive central banks, and entire countries are so completely obsessed with hoarding this particular metal. You might be thinking, it's just a rock you dig out of the ground, right? Well, actually, not quite. It turns out this metal has some incredibly special properties that have made it the center of human attention for literally thousands of years. Section 1. The magic of gold, a metal like no other. To solve this case, we first have to look at the unique physical superpowers that make gold so entirely different from everything else we pull out of the earth. You see, gold isn't just pretty to look at. It's virtually indestructible. It doesn't rust, it doesn't corrode, and it absolutely does not decay over time. And this brilliantly illustrates how gold is basically like an ultra-rare video game skin you keep forever in your inventory. It's totally different from a consumable health potion like oil or wheat that just vanishes once you use it. Think about it. When we pump oil, we burn it in our cars. When we grow wheat, we eat it. But when we mine gold, it stays in the world forever. It just changes shape, from a rock to a shiny ingot to a piece of jewelry, or even into the tiny electronic parts inside the smartphone you're probably holding right now. Section 2. The ultimate safe haven, protecting wealth from disappearing. Let's move to our next clue and see how this indestructible nature turns gold into a massive global financial shield during chaotic times. Because it lasts forever, people have always trusted it as a way to store their wealth. But to understand why they need to protect their wealth in the first place, we've got to learn a really important economic word. That word is inflation. Now think of inflation kind of like leveling up in a video game, but suddenly the exact same items in the item shop cost way more of your coins. The coins in your pocket literally lose their power to buy things. When this happens to paper money in the real world, well, things get very stressful for people's hard-earned savings. Now, what's really interesting here is seeing how whenever the real world gets scary or uncertain, people panic. And what do? They immediately trade their paper money for indestructible gold. Whether it was the oil shock back in 1979, global conflicts in 1980, or the massive financial crash in 2008 where stock markets completely tumbled, the price of gold absolutely skyrocketed. People treat it as this massive, shiny safety net. So, the crucial point is that while paper money constantly loses its value over the years, gold does the exact opposite. It serves as the ultimate cheat code for protecting your savings. Imagine buying a tiny piece of gold for just 50 pence back in 1970. Today, that exact same piece is worth around 50 pounds. It perfectly holds on to its value, keeping your wealth completely safe from the invisible thief we call inflation. Section 3. Big banks and gold. Who is hoarding all the treasure? Now, it isn't just everyday people buying gold. The biggest players in the world treat it as the ultimate safety net too. We're talking about central banks. You know, the giant boss-level banks that manage the money for entire countries. Just look at this staggering number, 800. That represents the net amount of gold in tons that central banks scooped up in just a single recent year. It totally proves their absolute reliance on this metal. I mean, that is a massive amount of weight. We're talking equal to hundreds of elephants, all in pure, solid gold just being locked away in heavily guarded underground vaults. When we look at who actually holds the most, the USA is sitting on the biggest treasure chest in the world to anchor their financial stability. They're followed by Germany and then Italy. These countries treat gold like the ultimate high score in a global financial competition. But why? Why do they need so much of it just sitting in the dark doing nothing? Well, they hoard this metal because having a vault full of gold proves to the rest of the world that your country's currency is strong, stable, and trustworthy. It's basically a massive flex. It tells other nations, hey, even if paper money fails, we have tons of real, indestructible treasure backing us up. It protects their economy from unpredictable world events and keeps their national currency stable. Section 4. Gold and the economy, the big picture of global money. Now let's zoom out a bit to see how the flow of gold actually dictates the health of an entire country's economy. The movement of this metal across borders can literally change how well a whole nation performs financially over the course of a year. To measure this, we use something called GDP. GDP is basically your country's final report card grade at the end of the year, showing exactly how well the economy performed. It adds up everything a country creates, builds, and provides. If you want a good grade on your GDP report card, you generally want to be making and selling lots of things, rather than just buying things from other countries. And because gold is mostly bought and sold using US dollars globally, they act a lot like a giant seesaw. When the dollar is strong, gold drops. But when inflation weakens the dollar, gold prices skyrocket. It's an inverse relationship. If the dollar is doing poorly and losing its purchasing power, investors rush over to the gold side of the seesaw, tipping the price of gold way up into the sky. Section 5. The India example, when loving gold hurts the economy. To truly understand how this works in practice, we're going to investigate a real-world case study in India. Now, India is a country with an overwhelming, deeply rooted cultural demand for gold, for jewelry, gifts, and investments. But they actually have very few gold mines of their own. Because they don't dig up enough themselves, India imported a staggering $6.1 billion worth of gold in just 1 year, primarily from places like Switzerland. That is a gigantic amount of money being spent just to bring a luxury item into the country. But here is where the economic mystery gets a little complicated. This brilliantly illustrates the domino effect. It's exactly like taking your weekly allowance and spending it at a neighboring school's bake sale. Your money leaves your ecosystem, which actively hurts your own school's economy. When citizens buy so much foreign gold, billions of dollars leave India. This drops the value of the Indian rupee, creates a massive trade deficit, and ultimately gives the country a lower grade on its GDP report card. To stop this massive wealth drain, the government had to step in and make buying foreign gold significantly more expensive by using heavy taxes. They essentially told their citizens, look, we love gold too, but for the sake of our country's economic health, we have to charge you extra if you want to buy it from outside our borders. It's a perfect example of how the desire for this shiny metal literally forces governments to change the rules of the game. Section 6. The future of gold. Will the shiny rock rule forever? We've cracked the case on why gold matters today and how it impacts everything from a family's savings to an entire nation's report card. But let's look at what tomorrow holds. It is truly fascinating that a simple element from the periodic table has the power to dictate international trade, boost currencies, or even sink a country's GDP. It isn't just a pretty material, it's a fundamental pillar of global finance that governments and banks watch like a hawk. As we move deeper into a world of digital money, apps, and cryptocurrencies that exist only on computers, we really have to ask ourselves, will this physical, heavy, shiny yellow rock always remain the ultimate treasure? Or will we eventually find a new cheat code for our economies? It's a fascinating mystery for the future. Thank you for listening to this Know and Go episode.